So I've been trying to troubleshoot this and I cannot get it sorted right now, so I figured I'd just hop back on here to let you guys know that there is going to be no drumming tonight apparently, because my plugin does not want to work. So unfortunately that's where we're at with this. So we can just hang out, I guess, and let's see here. I'm gonna go. Oh, this is frustrating as heck. So, I don't know what the heck happened here, but I have a program going from my streaming computer to my audio computer, and for some reason it doesn't want to communicate to the audio computer, so I'm like just beyond unimpressed with this right now. It shows the audio is going out, but it's not receiving it into the streaming computer, and I've checked the plugins, I've restarted, I updated everything. But, yeah, here we are. We do not have any drum audio. So I don't know what the heck got mixed up here. Nothing was touched. I tried restarting both computers. And, yeah, with no avail. So, it's just going to be a hangout tonight, apparently. I'm going to have to check everything thoroughly to see exactly what happened. I never did anything differently. This is weird. Yeah, it is unbelievable. It's ridiculous. So here, let's see. Just want to make sure. I'm gonna try this out. See what I can do here. Hey. Yeah, it's still not sending any audio, so I don't know, man. Guess we're just gonna hang out, and if you guys have any questions. Is my audio muted? No, nothing's changed. Hold on, let me just check that, because you never know. No, everything's. It's all done over IP, so it's not going to matter if it's muted or not. So. Oh, man. The joys of live streaming, hey? Seems to go well every time. And then there's always one little thing that's out of control that just doesn't seem to want to work. So yeah, I've tried everything so far. I don't understand what the heck happened. Yeah, nothing. Hey Pat, nothing's changed on that front. So unless, let's see. Yeah, the sync is fine. Everything's clocked properly. It's done through via ADAT. Everything's all good there. It hasn't changed. Yeah, I had the bass drum trigger going because it's actually routed through the mini mixer, so there's direct control from that, and then instead of coming out of Reaper with that, I just do it through there. It's just a little bit of a workaround I had to do. But other than that, nothing else has changed. So it's actually kind of mind-boggling. Like, it just decided not to want to send the information anymore. And that's kind of a really big letdown because I wanted to play drums tonight. So yeah, you can hear the kick, but you can't hear the kit. These streams are never this shitty, I promise. Yeah, it's just not getting any signal at all from Reaper. And I've updated it and nothing else has changed. So I don't know what the heck is going on here. I've even checked all the firewall settings and stuff here. But yeah, so if you guys got some questions, we'll go over that. And we can kind of talk some things out. Okay, let's see. Todd, any advice on keeping my balance when keeping double bass going while doing cymbal catches? Well, yeah, it all depends on really how your drum set's set up, right? Like, so if, for instance, you're playing something like continually like this and your cymbals are a little further back, it's going to be a little more challenging. So you want to kind of have a ergonomic enough setup to allow you to be able to hit the crash and choke it while not being too far forwards or backwards or to either side trying to play your kicks. So that's just something to keep in mind. It's just basically positioning behind the drums, right? So hopefully that helps you out. The sound of the trigger's not there anymore. Yeah, there's no signal anymore from all the drums, so that's bullshit. How 2 hearts apart? How should I set up my cymbals? Set them up how you want, but obviously it's gonna be coming down to like what style you play and just basically the aesthetic of it. But for me personally, I don't like setting them too high because I don't like having my arm up and putting more strain on my shoulder, and so I keep them relatively, the crashes at roughly the shoulder height, so I don't have to go overextend past my shoulder joint. I just kind of go from the shoulder and to the elbow and kind of hinge that way, if that makes sense. And then like as far as everything else is concerned, it's kind of in reach or just around out of reach, so I can just kind of flip my wrist over, or if I really need to, I can open my arm a bit before striking this china. And then, you know, obviously you want to keep the toms a little bit closer, but as far as cymbals are concerned, it's just like if I can hit it like right here at the meat of the stick like this, then that's ideally where I want to hit it. It's gonna be really up to you and your playing style and like your physical ability to hit it in a manner that's comfortable for you. And then same thing goes with anything else like accent cymbals and stuff. You'll probably find that if you have a lot of cymbals, it's going to be a lot easier to do if you have a rack, because as it stands, no pun intended, there's a lot of stands here for all the cymbals. So it can be quite a bit if you're like a gigging drummer and stuff like that. And I don't miss those days, that's for sure. Yeah, you're welcome, Todd. You're very welcome. You have a dumb question. No, not such thing as a dumb question. It's just open for different point of views, right? So I wouldn't say it's dumb, but he's asking if it's possible to have 2 single kick pedals on a single bass drum. Why not? I mean, it's going to be kind of tough to play, right? Because you don't have the UV, like the bar between the 2 pedals to connect them to get them to one striking surface. So you're going to technically, unless you engineer away, have the 2 pedals hitting the one kick drum, and that's going to kind of throw everything else off. So your snare is not going to be central to everything. You're going to have your legs together. It's going to be kind of uncomfortable, especially if you're dude. You get what I'm saying? I mean, it is possible, but I haven't seen it. So if you do it, please let me know how you do it, because that would be amazing, dude. That'd be pretty funny, actually. Hey Cam, where you from? Tell us about the metal scene and your duties as a drummer. Hey man, first time chatter it looks like. Thanks so much for tuning in, even though we're not playing drums. I'm from like the southern part of Ontario, which is, I guess, 2 hours west of Toronto. I mean, most people know Toronto, and that's located in Canada, if you haven't guessed it yet. And so the scene down here is actually pretty good. There's a few hardcore bands, and you know, we have Archspire, which is like way out west. It's like a 2-day drive. It's like going from California to Michigan. So we have that. We have death metal in the east as well, like in Montreal. So we have Despised Icon, Beneath the Massacre, Ion Dissonance, and boy, there's a lot of different death metal and metal bands around here. But like specifically around where I'm at, it's pretty good. And so your second question to that is my duties as a drummer. So I used to play in a band called Terrorhorse. We're actually still kind of active. We're writing right now. And we used to tour quite a bit. So that was our dream, was to keep that band going. Then some stuff went funny and we called it quits about 10, 12 years ago. So we finally got back together in the last couple of years and started writing again. And we got some stuff coming out shortly. We redid a bunch of old stuff. So if you guys want to hear what I'm able to do and kind of what kind of music I love writing with these guys, then that'll be out soon. And so my duties for that is just like being fast and keeping up with the guitars and kind of having these creative ideas that take the guitar players playing to another level and vice versa. So we all are really challenging each other to write stuff like that. And so hopefully that kind of answers your questions with what kind of duties or responsibilities I have. And it's really handy having this, because we jam in here too, having this home studio, because then we record our demos, and then before we go to the studio and stuff like that, we're doing all our pre-pro stuff, so we can listen back to it. And that's something we didn't have like 12 years ago, like readily available. That stuff was just kind of snowballing at that point. And so that's what we do here. And that's what I do, and that's what the metal scene is like around here. It's really good, actually. A lot of great bands you should check out. Let's see. Oh, wrong mouse. Your double bass mini course is helping me a lot. I was absolutely over practicing in the wrong things for a month at the start of my double bass journey. Hey John, that's great, man. What is it specifically that helped you out? Like, what seems to be something that you've kind of crossed over that helped you through that program? Because I'm glad to hear that. And it's really difficult to know whether or not it's helping a lot of drummers, because when you don't get feedback, you expect everything to be good, right? So that's great to hear from you, man. Yeah, it's totally possible. Yeah. Build a bass plate to do what you want, but it's easier. Yeah, exactly. Like if you were to engineer and like fab something up that you can do that, then that would be cool. But it's just like, excuse me, it'd be like putting the gas and the brake pedal on the same pedal for your vehicle. It would take quite a bit of effort, and your foot would be, I guess if you had to use 2 feet to do the same job, it'd be really challenging. So that's kind of the concept of that, you know. With the 2 pedals, it just makes more sense. You can space them out. Or the 2 kick drums, same idea. Then you can keep that snare in the middle and kind of like put all the rest of the drums and cymbals around you to just make it feel comfortable. And that's kind of what we want to be able to do, right? We want to be able to creatively express ourselves in a comfortable way. So, yeah. Okay, like that pivot method, you mean like the swivel technique. So I guess you have a foot cam here. You can see it. So it's kind of pivoting like this, in a sense. Is that what you mean? So yeah, it can help at like slower and mid tempos. And if like, it really depends on your goals. If you want to play faster stuff, you can definitely swivel at fast speeds. There's a lot of guys that do it like that. It's not a wrong way to do it. There's other ways to do it too. But if you feel like it works for you in your musical application and you feel comfortable doing it without straining your knees or any other part of your limbs, then go for it. Because not everybody's going to learn how I learned it and how I show people how to learn, right? So that's the most interesting part about music education and just learning an instrument itself, because you can just draw inspiration from everybody else and create your own version of that. And then, you know, just run with that idea and do the best you can with what you know. I would just focus mainly on the movement. So if you just take your phone and you set it down near the ground so that you can see what your feet are playing, you'll have a better understanding of comparing what you've recorded to what somebody else does, you know. So then you can look at it back to back and you're like, okay, so that's how they do it, and why do they do it that way? Then that's going to kind of refine the questions that you want to be asking yourself. Like, okay, why isn't this working for me? And then you spot those differences and you pick them out and you're just like, okay, that's why that's working for him and not for me, right? So then you can just take that on and build your own technique with that. And you got to remember too, like everything you see online, obviously there's no hard and fast, like set way to do things, but there's some like proven ways to do it that a lot of us have been doing for time and time again. And it seems to work because it just works, right? So you got to remember there's kind of both sides of the fence on that. There's ways to do it, there's ways not to do it, but then there's your way as well, right? So just remember that. As long as you're not hurting yourself and as long as you're having fun doing it, then who really cares, right? Hey Kyle, what's going on, man? Kyle says, been working on the heel toe exercises. You suggested trying to raise that heel higher. Yeah, that's awesome, dude. So Kyle is actually in our metal drumming. It's kind of like a monthly membership thing, and there's like a whole full social like chat and everything, and you can put your questions and your videos there without judgment, without ads, without having to, you know, create a social media account and be public with all that stuff. So then inside you can get direct feedback. So he's talking about like, he's talking about the heel toe exercises and the ideas that I shared with him inside there. So a lot of that stuff I don't share on YouTube and stuff like that. So if that's something you want to get direct access to, you can go to my Academy webpage and check out the different courses and stuff. Or if you want to just get a feeler for how things are taught and if it's like something you can learn through me, then you can also get the free mini courses, and that is on the home page. You just click start with the free mini courses, then you get sent an email, boom, all the stuff's there. It's not super overwhelming, but it's straightforward, and I try and keep it very black and white so that you understand if there's any problems with your stuff. You're gonna learn what common ones are common, and then I help walk you through that stuff. So obviously the paid stuff is a lot more thorough and there's a lot more exercises and whatnot, but if you want to check that stuff out, you can go to academy.cameronfleury.com, check all that stuff out, and yeah, have the free stuff for starters, see how you like it. Oh yeah, that was very... No, there's really no noob questions. You got to remember, like, it doesn't, like, even a lot of the more simpler questions can be quite baffling to somebody who's more seasoned. So I don't think there's any bad questions because, let's face it, a lot of the advanced drummers do not think of the simple stuff, right? They're more interested in, like, you know, playing faster, playing more technical stuff, or learning different stickings or different polyrhythms or polymeters or fills and all that good stuff. So when somebody asks a simple question to somebody like that, then it brings them back to think what the easiest way to answer that question would be, right? Because when you're at the beginning of your drumming journey, you don't necessarily understand all those concepts fully. So, it's like, to make it simple is very difficult. It's like if you want to learn astrophysics, then the guy you want to talk to is Neil deGrasse Tyson. So he can make something really complex sound really simple, and that's the best way. I agree to disagree about the best way is endless practice, because you can be practicing the wrong things. And I find that people tend to think that more practice equates to more results, and that's not wrong in thinking that, because it's very common of somebody to think that way. But you got to think of it this way: if you have focused, intentional practice with shorter amount of time, you're gonna have more focused, intentional results. And so when you know what you need to work on when you're practicing the drums, and you focus on that intentively for 10 to 20 minutes, roughly 3 times a week, about an hour a week, you're going to notice there's more progress. You won't get frustrated. You'll still have fun playing the drums, and you're going to be learning and growing. So keep that in mind. More is not more. All right. When I first started learning swivel, I did heel up, and with each stroke, I'd shift my ankle still. Not the best with both feet, but Hey, that's awesome, dude. I cannot do swivel that well. So that's very cool that you can. There's a lot of guys who play swivel very well, and it's not necessarily something I'm interested in doing. I feel like the heel toe thing's more economical for me, but I'm glad you can do it. And if you have any tips for anybody else who's learning how to do a swivel, then just let us know in the chat. Is there a brand of sticks that I'd consider to be underrated? If you guys don't know, these guys are Canadian. If you can see that. They're what I've been playing, well, since I can't even remember, like 14 or 15 years. But they're a Canadian company from the East Coast, and they're a great family company, and I love dealing with that family. They're great. So if you haven't heard of them, they're called Los Cabos. I know it sounds like a resort destination or whatever, but it's really about the product itself and the people that run it. So these are red hickory. It's like the center of the hickory tree. They have white hickory as well, but these are denser and tighter in grain. And so what I find with these is that they're really strong. Like, it takes me a while to blast through one of these, and you can see all the dents and stuff in it there too, where it kind of tapers. Like, I can literally play session after session or do, you know, practice or YouTube stuff endlessly and still not break stuff. Obviously, there's still times that, you know, you might go through sticks a little quicker than others, but that's just a natural product. So yeah, I would check those out. Oh, and as far as like the size and stuff, 5B, but this one's called the Red Intense. So basically it's got like another finger width length on the stick. And what's really good for that is, like, if you start playing faster stuff in like a timpani or a French grip style, and you notice that from the bounce you're starting to slip back on your fulcrum, it's great for that extra finger width because you've got that much extra space and time to actually push your fulcrum back up while you're playing. So that's why I love these. And not only that, is that it changes where the fulcrum point is on the stick, so I can play it a little further back, get that extra reach, and I don't have to strain myself as much. So 5B Red Intense, Los Cabos drumsticks, highly recommend it. No, I don't sell them. Let's see what other questions we have inside the chat here. I like just hanging out too. Like, obviously it'd be cool to play drums and whatnot, but I do like helping other drummers, so this is cool. Let me just expand it a little bit because I don't feel like I'm seeing all of it. Okay. Yeah, you do use Los Cabos. That's sick, dude. I know they just, like, well, maybe not a recent thing, but they're in the States a lot more now, and they're all over the globe, which is great because I believed in them for a long time. Yeah, they are a decent price. Are there any songs you recommend to help have fun while learning double bass? Well, yeah, you can do the Iron Maiden stuff with 2 feet, or like Judas Priest. It all depends on what level of playing you're at too. But like easy double bass, anything from the 90s or like metalcore stuff would be great. That has kind of a mid tempo to it. So between like 160, 180, that would be great because you can keep solid time with it. I wouldn't suggest anything super fast, but you can also just take like a regular pop song with a nice like tempo of like 90 BPM or 110 BPM and just add your own flavor to it. Just turn it down a little bit in the mix and just go ham on it. Let's see. I've been playing drums almost 3 years now, and I've had a hard time playing tight over 250 BPM using ankle technique. Any advice to get faster? There's a few things you can do to play faster over 215. And I'd like to know, I wanna know what exactly you're practicing right now that hasn't been able to help you get past that. Like, what's holding you up? Do you think it's your technique? What are you practicing exactly? Pizza asked, favorite necrophagist song? Oh man, anything off of Epitaph, like probably Diminished to Be or Stab Wound. I don't know, man. They're all pretty good. That stuff used to put me to sleep. That and Brain Drill. I know. Dude, I get really pissed when I make a mistake hitting the rim of my tom. Yeah, you know what, Todd? It happens to all of us, man. We're all human. Actually, like with this setup going from, you know, cascading from the top to the floor, sometimes I get a little too close and I bring my stick up underneath the ride and it catches the ride cymbal and it makes me look like a complete noob. But that's humility and it builds character. That's why we have stick bags too. We can't always be perfect, right? So it happens. Let's see. Hey Cameron, what cymbals do you recommend for metal drumming? Whatever you want, man. There's no again, there's no concrete answer to that. I started with Zildjian A Customs when I was a young Padawan, and then I played Sabian for a little bit. And then over, like, since I did, like, the last tour I did, I borrowed Art Cruz's Meinl MB20 cymbals for a tour I did with a Sumerian band, and I fell in love with them. And then, so that's basically what this ride is. It's the new lineup of MB20s. It's a heavy hammered ride. But I really love these. I need a new China, and I want to try and upgrade some of these crashes. I do like how durable they are, but I know they have some better sounding stuff, even though it's a little more expensive, but I do want to try them out. So that's something I want to work towards. But yeah, it's not about me. So what you should do is just figure out what you like the most, right? That's really up to you. And as you can tell, like, you know, from personal experience, I did the Sabian thing, did the Zildjian thing, I'm doing the Meinl thing. That's completely up to you. Okay, just a second here. My moderator is telling me something. Okay. All right, back to the chat. Let's see what else we have here. I'm gonna go on this computer. For some reason. There we go. Okay. Okay, I can't quite read it from here. But, okay. So, let's keep going through the chat here. Yeah, I do use Meinl. Yeah, you know what? Practicing with music is the end goal. I mean, implementing and applying it musically is the end goal, right? So, it's nice to know all these stickings or all this fast shit or blast beats and all that, but, like, put it to music. Right, so you want to kind of open up that part of your mind where it's just letting those ideas subconsciously happen, right? You don't want to have to care about the technique. You don't want to have to care about the gear. You just want to be able to go, oh, okay, I can play this part here and this is going to complement the music. And then it sounds good musically, right? We want to take all that technique stuff and throw it away. We want to apply it musically. So practicing with music is great. I totally agree. Okay, Wizard Seizure. Yeah, we just updated the title for this because for some reason, my audio for my drums is not streaming over to my streaming computer. I'm choked about this because everything else was perfect. I made sure the slider wasn't going to fall on its head, and lo and behold, I can't figure out this technical issue that doesn't allow the audio to go from my recording computer to the streaming computer. So I'm going to keep track of anybody's tips or super chats or anything like that, and then next week I am gonna play your stuff first. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry that this week I'm not playing drums, but I do want to help you, and I'm going to spend the time with you guys anyway to chat, hang out, and answer any questions. And if there's no questions, well, we'll just hang out anyway. Yeah, Overkill's good. Jason Bittner's the drummer there. Yep, Motorhead. Mickey D. Todd, anyway, my point is sometimes I feel like the only drummer who has played 30 years and makes mistakes. It was nice to see you drop a stick playing. No, dude. I drop sticks too, and I got some stories about professional drummers who drop sticks like way above my capabilities, or like, you know. But I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna start doing that. So it happens to everybody. It's all I'm trying to say. It doesn't matter how long you've been playing. You're still a human, and it's still a form of expression. Like, big deal. As long as you recuperate and you just have a little bit of humility and you're empathetic towards yourself, then no big deal. I don't mind putting up stuff like that, because then people can see, hey, like, dudes drop sticks. Yeah, he sucks sometimes too. So what? Fight me, right? It's no big deal. And I think more people should do that. I think more people of all, like, even bigger caliber musicians should be doing more of that too, and not just posting highlights. Unless they're, like, actually never make a mistake, which I very highly doubt. I cannot for the life of me learn covers. Dude, it takes a lot. Like, especially if you're super focused on getting it down note for note and you want to post it online and somebody's going to pick out the shit anyway. What does it matter? Obviously it's good to push yourself musically and creatively to learn other people's drumming styles and, like, note for note songs, but I've tried it and I've just strayed from doing the cover thing to more of a playthrough thing, because if I spend all this time learning other people's songs and don't explore myself, then I'm putting more energy out than I'm actually taking in, if that makes sense. You've only played in one live show, but you're in 3 jam bands. Hey, that's okay. What do I think of the new Periphery songs? Chef's Kiss. I don't know exactly what song it was called, but it's the one with the jazz break. I really love any mix Nolly does, and he's really a master of his craft. Like, and so when we started seeing pictures online on social media and stuff from the Periphery guys showing, like, excuse me, oh, drum recording's done, it's gonna sound so huge. It's like, yeah, that got me stoked, because obviously most of us Periphery people are a little bit nerdish. So I really like it. I dig it. And there was that jazz break, and they kind of, like, I don't know, just everything about it is really good. They're really moving into themselves and really keeping their audience happy and stuff like that. So that's really important. And I think they're doing really good. Sounds awesome. They put a lot of thought into it, basically. Let's see if we have any other questions. Is it highly discouraged to play barefoot? I don't know. Who's telling you not to play barefoot? Like, a lot of guys play barefoot, and, like, I personally don't. But that's up to you, man. Like, and if somebody's telling you not to play that way, then they better have a damn good reason. Unless it's just, like, them projecting why, you know, like, their ideals on you. Which is not fair either, because everybody learns differently. So you got to try it out for yourself. You got to try it out for yourself, okay? If you like playing in your socks, if you like playing in your shoes, if you like playing barefoot, if you like playing in a banana hammock, then go for it. And if you post that on the internet, then you know, expect some backlash or being blocked on a bunch of shit. But yeah. John asked if I had any tips on making your fills more unique. Yeah, listen to more music. Different kind of music. That's disturbing, but I'll show it anyway. Yeah, so I actually did a like, if you go back in some of the, like maybe a few weeks ago or a month or two ago, there was a video on creating unique metal drum fills, but that can be applied regardless of the genre you're playing. And so it talked about like not seeing patterns in books for what they are, but to kind of explore the stickings and see what feels natural. So that's one way to do it. So if you have a simple paradiddle, you can obviously displace it around like this. You do a lot of, you know, simpler stuff like permutation, which is just basically, you know, all possible notes and playing accents in those spots. Or, you know, you can play it on different surfaces, or you can add different dynamic to it, or, you know, you can add stickings in between that to make odd phrases, or you can add quintuplets, septuplets, sextuplets, you name it. That's one way to go about it. If you're really analytical and you like to think of it that way, you can approach it that way. Or if there is a certain riff or something, or if you're jamming with people online or in person, more importantly, then they throw a riff at you, then you can just try and see what meshes well with that. And oftentimes I find that's the easiest way to pull things out. Rather than just sitting behind there and seeing if it sounds good, you actually sit there with another musician and see if it jives with what he's doing. I think that's the most important. But other than that, I would say listen to a bunch of different music. If you're into metal and rock and stuff, maybe try and get out of that box and out of your comfort zone and listen to things like jazz or big band or like 50s or 30s or anything like that. Heck, even if you have kids, just listen to kids stuff and try and like have an ear for you know, like if it's catchy, or why is it so catchy, and you kind of dissect it like that instead of like analyzing all the different patterns and stuff. Kind of approach it from a different way is what I'm saying. So hopefully that helps. Did I play any other instruments before drums? Yes, I did. So my mother I'm sure she can still play really well, but plays piano. And so we always had a piano in the house, and that was something I did. I started in like grade 4, and then we have what's called the Canadian Conservatory. It's almost like the Conservatory of Music, but the Canadian version. And so you climb up through grades and learn theory and melody and harmony and stuff like that. So I did that for a little bit, and then I realized that piano is not cool. Fast forward, I'm in high school. We have like a string ensemble in our high school, which we're very fortunate for because a lot of high schools have brass and wind. And so I picked up the cello, and which I find is a very nice like mid-range tone between treble and bass clef, and it's got a really nice stuff to it. So yeah, I played that for a little bit. I wouldn't say I was a cellist, but mainly it was the piano thing that really helped with the sight reading and like reading ahead and understanding both figures, and then using sustain with your foot and stuff like that kind of helped with polyrhythms. And other than that, yeah, I dabble in guitar, and yeah, that's about it. But like drums right now, only drums. No, mostly drums. So hopefully, yeah. Hopefully that helps out. Learning other instruments is super helpful. Yeah, let's see. Last week I wanted to know what is your snare? Is it a Mapex brass? Actually, it is not. Here, let me lift it up for you. I'll give you a little bit of a close-up here. This is the Mapex phosphorus bronze. I believe it's 14 by 6.5, and it's hammered. Came out in like, early 2000s. Yeah, never mind the Remo skin. I play Evans. But yeah, so I put like a 32 strand wire on it, and I think it's, don't quote me on it, I think it's like 1.2 mil shell, and it's got like black chrome on it, and So on the batter, I've got the Evans HD Dry, and it's great, man. It's so cool. And there's not really many others like it. A lot of guys play the Sledgehammer, which is fine, but I want it to be unique and different, man. So my buddy Jeff Towers out in Calgary, he's also a Mapex artist. Him and I were chatting. He's like, yo, dude, my buddy, excuse me, is getting rid of one of these snares. He's like, you definitely need it for what you do. It's really sick. And so I was like, okay, I'll check it out. And he gave me the price on it, and it's pretty reasonable for what it is. And I was looking at it, I'm like, wow, that's like mint condition. Okay. Yeah, I should have a Mapex snare, because for the longest time I was playing my Tama G Maple, and then obviously I became a Mapex artist, so I was like, yeah, I shouldn't be playing that, even though it sounds tits. I'm just gonna get this, and I don't regret it. So yeah, that's the story on that. Whoop. Yeah, a lot of hot chicks play Barefoot, and they wear low-cut shirts too. It does really well for them. Not saying they're bad they're musicians, but it works well for them. Maybe I'll start wearing like, no, I won't do that to you. Samus plays in just his socks, so again, it's personal opinions. Yeah, and he's great too. So obviously he's played in socks for a long time, and that's the ticket. He's played for a long time. So it doesn't matter what your footwear is. But I think the more important thing was that he wasn't aware of any known associated injuries with playing Barefoot. I don't know. I really don't know. Unless you have like a bunch of disgusting bacteria on it, then you can get some weird thing. But yeah, I really don't know. I'm not much of a scientist. Yeah, I guess you could get your toes and webs stuck in the chain, and that would suck. That would not feel good. When you get your stream figured out, you should do a video on how you actually stream live drums, because there isn't much content on how to do so. Pat Rock, you're onto something. I would love to do a video on that. I feel like it would be at least a 2 or 3-parter video, because it's way too much to put into one video. Obviously you can sit there and watch it, but it's too much. And also, if you want to spend if you want to spend a small fortune, then do this setup. Yeah. So yeah, I really do want to do that. I really do. One more question. What's a good intermediate double bass pedal? You mean like the pedal itself? Or do you mean like intermediate, like based on quality and stuff like that? You can get whatever you want, man. Just look online. There's lots of budget-friendly options. If you want to break the bank and get some nice custom pedals, then there's lots of options for that. There's lots of options for everybody, so there's no reason. I mean, it's easy to get caught up because you get like paralysis by analysis, right? And everybody's just throwing all these different products out at you. So it's like, what do I go with? Look at, like, figure out how much you can afford, and then see what's out there in that price range, and then you can basically see what features and stuff are going to work for you and your drumming, and then you can base your buying decision on that. Obviously you want to look at the reviews and you want to make sure you're spending your money in the right place, but that's what I would do. Yeah, jazz music is metal. Yeah, that's great. Viola and cello. Viola is also very pretty sounding. Very pretty. For 7 years at that, man, you're way further ahead than I ever was then. I was just like learning the proper grip on the frog and then moving around the fingerboard essentially, and then making sure I knew where my positioning was, and yeah, so it wasn't too crazy, but that's sick, man. It would be something to keep going with, you know, to keep that part of your brain going. It'd just be interesting. Oh, you have the Persuader. Those are very, very nice. Very nice. Yeah, the Daisy Cutter's pretty cool too. Wear the Helper and Deep V shirts. No, man, that's Matt can have that. He can have that. That's cool though. I'll keep my normal t-shirts and I'll keep my boobs in here. I don't want to get flagged for partial nudity or like just scaring people away. Don't want that. Yeah, there is a lot of setting up to for drum streaming. There's all the mics. It all depends how far you want to go with it. All the mics, so you got your audio, then you got your kit, then you need a room. But if you're gonna do it with your V drums or electric kit, then you can do it that way too, and it's gonna be nice and quiet. Then you need your cameras, and then you need a computer that will handle all the cameras, and then you need all the cabling, and then you need the internet, and then you need the lights, and then yeah, it's a lot. So like maybe breaking it down in like 3 or 4 different segmented videos would probably be better. Yeah, see, you can get a used Tam Iron Cobra for like $200. Yeah, that's basically what I started on too. So the power glides, they had the rolling glides. Now they have like the Dynasync and all that good stuff. So yeah, definitely like if you're unsure, take that advice and don't buy brand new if you don't have to. Just basically see if it works for you. If it doesn't, then you're not out all that extra money. Hey Cameron, it's Drums for Life from Instagram. Hey, Drums for Life from Instagram. Welcome so much. How you doing, man? Thanks for tuning in. Hey Simon, no, I've played shoot. I played one of the Metallica songs, but they just dropped another one. I haven't done that one. Maybe, yeah. Maybe I will. I don't know. I should get Streamer Bot to control the moving camera. You can set it to trigger. Yeah, that's what I need is one more thing to go wrong. I know it's probably like pretty intuitive and stuff, but I'm kind of choked still that I'm not drumming tonight for y'all, so we're just gonna hang out anyway. Oh, nice. I'll check out your channel, man. You made affiliate. Round of applause. Round of applause for Drums for Life. That's sick, dude. Congratulations. He streams drums there too. So yeah, if you guys are watching on Twitch, check him out. Oh, excuse me. So yeah, we'll hang out for a bit longer here. Let's see. Schedule is Tuesday, Wednesday, 2 to 4:45. There you go, folks. There you go. Hey, yeah, no problem. You're welcome. If you have any other questions, feel free to ask. I'm going to be on here for like maybe another 15-20 minutes. So if you're just tuning in now, tonight's stream has been effed up because of some technical difficulties. I would have really loved to play the drums for you, but we're going to communicate. We're going to have a chat in the live chat. And you're going to ask me questions if you got them. If not, just say, hey. Don't forget the LEDs and pop culture stuff to show on the stream. I'm not really into pop culture, like those little plastic figurines and stuff. Not my thing. I think they're pretty cool, but yeah, I'm not into that. Let's see here. Am I a Meinl artist, or is that just your preferred cymbals? I just switched back to Zildjian Ks. Pat, I'm not a Meinl artist currently. Although if somebody from Meinl is watching this, return my emails, please. Kidding, not kidding. No, I've been playing them for a while, and I don't expect anything. I'd play them regardless. So, yeah, it's all good. I actually still have a Zildjian K ride. So, yeah. Other than that, yeah. Do I still jam with Glenn? I haven't in a while. No, I haven't. I haven't seen Glenn in a while. I haven't spoken to him, but I'm sure we will soon. It'd be cool. I miss Glenn. I'm sure he's got lots of funny stories for me. Really good dude. So, really, really good dude. He deserves everything he's got. So, regardless if you like him or you hate him, he's a really good dude. Drums for life. I play Sabian. Yeah, those are really nice cymbals. Very nice. All HHX. You fancy, huh? That's some really good stuff. Let's see. You always played Sabian stuff there, Drums for Life? Or is that something recent? What's a metal song that's easier to play than it sounds? Probably like Psychosocial by Slipknot. That's super easy. Obviously not the old Slipknot stuff. Not the old Slipknot stuff. What's another song that's easier to play than it sounds? This, like, that's challenging because it's the inverse. Usually it's like, oh, that doesn't sound hard, but then you play it and you're like, that's tough as tits, man. Oh, okay, Streamlabs. Easy on the foul language report here. Don't worry, you can use all the swearing you want. Within reason. 2021, I switched to... You're an A-Custom Zildjian player for like 20 years. Oh, that's okay then. You just decided you wanted to try something new. Totally understand it, dude. That's where I'm at, too. That's why I wanted to go all with this Meinl stuff. I don't expect anything out of it, but I record a lot of songs with it. I've recorded a lot of big songs with it, and they've sounded great every time, so there's no complaints in that department. You know, I probably would get something different here. It's kind of harsh, and I thought maybe it was the reflections of the room, and I added some more spot treatment up, but still can't. So, oh, you followed your favorite drummer and replicated his setup when he joined Sabian. Oh, that's pretty cool. Who's your favorite drummer? When I got back into recording, you and Glenn's tutorials helped me a bunch figure out mic placement for my drums. Now I'm recording my band songs. Dude, Pat, that's awesome, man. Glenn's been super helpful. He actually helped out with a lot of this stuff too, and he provided me with these mics, the CAD mics on the toms, and I haven't bothered changing them since. He's helped me score all the Lewitt microphones. He's helped me get a deal with them, and dude, Glenn has helped a lot of freaking people. So anybody who doesn't like him can go pound salt because they don't know him personally. So question: tacos or burritos? Burritos all the way. But if you're giving me an ultimatum, I'd have to say Burritos, but otherwise, I'd say they're pretty much at par. If you ask Ryan Claxton, he's another drummer you guys should go check out on YouTube, from Oshawa, which is not far from here. He is a taco fanatic. The dude will eat tacos every night if he could. We actually we roomed together at NAMM, and we've hung out quite a bit before. He's cool, dude. So he plays in like a bunch of bands, and yeah. Let's see. Oh, Barry Kirch of the band Shinedown. That's awesome, dude. That's cool. Shinedown are great. Actually, good buddy of mine from our hometown. He's one of the technicians for Shinedown, for Eric Bass, actually. He's the bass tech for Shinedown. So I'm familiar with those fellas. Love them. Even though I'm metal, I love all music, mostly. So don't hate me for it. I think Shinedown is really, really freaking good. Glenn's the reason why I bitch at my friends who program drums. You mean your guitar player friends who program drums that make it next to impossible to play like 8 things at the same time? Yeah, guitar players. Come on. Come on. Think like a drummer. I should do a course on that. Just like think like a drummer. It's like programming drums for guitar players. Favorite band? Oh, I love Meshuggah. I've always loved Meshuggah. Yeah, so I guess you could say Meshuggah is like my favorite. Oh, Glenn made your drum tracking template. That's sick, dude. How's that working out for you? Burritos are like pizza. Not all of them are great, but I've never had a terrible one. You're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. Burritos are actually really good. Sometimes whoever's making them can go a little too crazy on the sauce, but if you tell them light sauce and don't put a lot of rice, then you're good. You're not going to get a lot of filler. And always, all of the toppings except cilantro. Cilantro is the devil's lettuce. I will not do it. It tastes like soap. Put all that crap on there. It's all good. Except cilantro and all the sauce. Yeah, that's right. Hoogie Donut. We call him Hoog. Stage Right Crew. Yeah, him and I, well, the last NAMM I went to, him and I roomed together down in Los Angeles. He's a good dude. We're from the same hometown, so it's like, yeah, it's cool stuff. Yeah, you do know Hoogie. Awesome, dude. Funny story about that is like he used to work. My cousin had this band called Room Without a View, and they're like a punk rock thing. And then so they did like stints with like Treble Charger and a bunch of other bands like that. And like that's when Sum 41 was starting to come up. And Hoogie used to tech for a lot of those bands. And so it was kind of like he worked with my cousin, and then my cousin knew him, cousin knew me. And we'd never really crossed paths. There was kind of an age gap there. But like as time progressed, you know, the music business doesn't necessarily get any bigger. So you start to understand and know more people. And then, we got to be fast friends. So that's how I know Hoogie. Yeah, they don't... I can't speak for all guitarists because I'm not a guitarist. But like from what I've gotten for session work and stuff, it's just like understanding like what is humanly possible as opposed to like what sounds good, you know, which is fine because everybody's got their own vision and stuff. But I think it's just like having the expectation of, you know, a reality that a drummer can only do so much, right? So unless you're Marco Miniman, then you can just program whatever you want and he can play it. I assume you're really close with all the crew. No, I'm not, actually. I only know Hoogie really well because of the hometown thing, so. As a guitar player, you don't do that. Yeah, that's why I didn't apply that to all guitar players. I said most. I didn't say all, so don't get your panties in a bunch. So, I'll hang out here for a little bit longer. What do you need a mirror for? Look at yourself cry? Come on, you need affirmation that things aren't going the way you wanted them to? It's all good, dude. I kid. It's like the bass player from okay, I got a story. It's story time. I played with this band on tour. I was a fill-in guy. We were playing a show at the Whiskey in LA, and it was good. And then the owner of Sumerian Records took us out to the House of Blues in Hollywood at the time. I believe it was that at the time. I don't think it's open anymore. And yeah, so he brought us there, and Steel Panther was playing. And if you guys haven't ever heard of Steel Panther, then you're truly missing out. But like that band is so funny. So why this relates to what you said about looking in a mirror was the bass player had like a mirror on stage, and a fan was blowing up his hair, and he'd just constantly be checking out himself. So freaking funny. Anyway, so that night Vinnie Paul was there. Vinnie Paul played the drums for a couple tracks. And then the comedian Dane Cook actually came up and sang as well, and he sang a couple tracks. And so that was cool. But we were just chilling by the bar, and I'm wearing my Jägermeister hoodie. I don't drink anymore, but I used to. And Vinnie Paul comes walking up, and I'm like, yo, Vinnie, what's going on, man? And I like give him a handshake and stuff. Sweetest dude ever. And so anyway, you know, the show's kind of wrapping up and stuff, and then there's like this side entrance, and the guys are like, oh, we're going to the after party upstairs. You coming? I was like, after party? And I'm like, okay, yeah, sure. So like we go up the stairs, and like on the way up, we're meeting some of the guys from Steel Panther. And then I believe Zachy Vengeance was there as well from Avenged Sevenfold. And we're going up the stairs, and we're going up the stairs. Then all of a sudden we go into like this big room, and there's like these, I don't know. It's just wild, man. It was packed full of people, you know. Oh man, it was so cool. Some really good stories from the road, and that was like one of my highlights. You know, shaking Vinnie Paul's hand and stuff, so that was cool. You mean open hat, closed hat, ride cymbal, and blast beats at the same time doesn't work? I don't know, man. If it sounds like shit, then why would you program that? And then you ask the guy playing drums for you why it's taking him so long, right? So just be a 2-drummer band. Yeah. Hey man, I got this sweet new pattern for a new song. Yeah. That's all that would be. No. It's got to be played like this. Oh, how do you count it? Oh, I count it like this. No, that's not how I count it. Can you just imagine the conversation? Could you just imagine? Yeah, Steel Panther is really cool. It's like a spoof band that just like blew up. It's great. It's great entertainment. When I track, I ask for the meat and taters of the song, bass snares and basic cymbal work, and they want, and I say write my own fills or just let me track whatever, and I'll see what you like more. Yeah, that's a good way to go about it. That's a good idea. Never thought of that. Oh yeah, Arlington. Okay, I've never been to Arlington. I've been to Corpus Christi and Dallas and oh heck, there was another show on that date. We played the White Rabbit. You probably know that venue. I don't remember where the White Rabbit was, but yeah. Programming is only good for demos and writing. At the end of the day, record the real thing, or at least Electric Kit. Yeah, I mean, you'd be surprised the amount of music that you listen to that is actually programmed. So I can't really speak on that. But yeah, like, if you have a real drummer, record the damn drums with a real drummer. Get the feel. Excuse me. Record it on Nekit. Do whatever you want. It's like, if it sounds good, it's good. I think we all get caught up in the process, and like, you know, all this AI stuff's coming out too, and people are getting upset and stuff like that. But it's just like, why are you getting upset? Just like use it to your advantage. Just get with the times, old man, right? So yeah. Oh yeah, San Antonio. Yeah, that's the place. That was a cool venue, and we were touring with Upon a Burning Body, and so that was kind of like their tour, and yeah, it was a packed house. It was great. But we noticed, like, even in some of the other bars and stuff, they had like Pantera flags and stuff, so there's like really heavy presence of Pantera stuff, and it was really cool to see, because like, you don't get that necessarily in Canada. It's just a different vibe, you know. So oh, okay, Arlington. Yeah, I've never been to Arlington. Maybe we drove past it on the freeway or something, but I don't remember. It's been a while now. I don't tour anymore, obviously. So layered programming, I've never done it, so I really don't know. I mean, sure, if it's the way to go. Kicks with post-processing. Yeah, or you can just do like what I do and do all this acoustic stuff if you have the means to do it. Trigger the kick and then turn the audio into MIDI. Make it nice. That's what Cola does as well. He's done like a bunch of stuff. He's on YouTube here. You've probably seen him. Is there 2 White Rabbit venues? I don't know. We played the one that had like the center of it is where the merch was, and it's kind of like an outside thing. Then the inside was one big stage, bar at the back. All I remember is I went through 2 t-shirts that night. So hot in Texas. It's got a bunch of graffiti and stuff on the walls. That's the one I'm thinking of. But if you guys know the site BandLab, it's pretty dope. Has a decent drum machine to practice on as well. That's the second time that somebody's mentioned BandLab, and I haven't checked it out yet. I'm just gonna type it in my browser here so I don't forget. Let's see what that's all about. Make music online. Yeah, that's what I do. Music creation for all. Okay, yeah, I don't know much about it. I'll have to look into it later, but that seems like a pretty cool idea. Like, you can do some stuff with it. Huh. So yeah. Oh yeah, no, it's not a. Here, I'll tell you what. No, I'm pretty sure it's the one in San Antonio. Yeah, it's San Antonio. It's a decent size. It's a decent size venue. Let's see. my memory serves me correctly. Yeah, that's a spot. It's just called White Rabbit. And I know a lot of bands, metal bands, go through there, so. I guess it closed. It doesn't make sense. Anyway, that's not important. I don't know if you guys I don't know if you guys know or follow my Facebook page, but I've been doing like what's it, like I did like a Britney Spears song with death metal drums or metal drumming, and then what else? There was like Shakira, Britney Spears. Anyway, they really took off. So that's what I like to do. I don't know, it's just like I'm from the 90s, so it's like it's just super fun to go back to old songs, easy songs that you used to hear on the radio and stuff, or on cassette, or I don't know how old you are, but and just play like what you know now on the drums to it. It's just so funny. But hey Trev, what's going on, man? Yeah, so update, live stream is not a drumming to your song request live because I messed up somewhere, or technology is just not on my side tonight. So we're just chatting. We're just hanging out. We're just answering questions. And we're just all hanging out here. Get to know you guys a little better. Ohio. Never played in Ohio, but that's basically like a 4-hour drive from where we're at in Canada. It's basically right across the pond. So, I don't know, how's the venue there? Ohio seems like it would be okay. Trev, we're all Slipknot fans, dude. Oh, I can't speak for everybody, but yeah. Welcome to the chat, man. So I'm going to give it like 5 more minutes. If you guys have some more drumming related questions, let me know. I'd be more than happy to answer them. Or if you just have any questions about anything, if you want to get to know me better, or if you have any questions about like who I am, who the heck am I to be on here doing this stuff? If you don't know who I am, then let me know, because we'll be hanging out for a little bit longer, and then I'm getting old, so I'm going to have to catch some sleep before my day job tomorrow. Womp womp. But not only that, but I forgot to bring water. That sounds like a me problem, doesn't it? Yeah, the camera slider is working better, but the audio for my drums is not working at all. So, you trade one thing for the other, right? What would you recommend when trying to strengthen my left foot playing? There is a bunch of different things you could do, but if you want like specific exercises, I can link my mini courses to my academy. It's like a double bass drum and control mini course. If you already don't have it, then there's like I want to say 10 or so different exercises in there, and some concepts and stuff you can have for free. So I'll just have that linked here in the chat shortly, and you can go have that. But really, like, if you want to know right now, I'd recommend, excuse me, I'd recommend on practicing control with that foot, right? So you want to do left foot lead stuff. You want to try playing easy rock beats or doubles or any kind of left foot leading pattern, and practice that underneath of a solid beat, and just get used to placing that around the drum kit or within various patterns, as opposed to using your right foot. So we want to kind of stay away from leading with the right foot and build that left foot too. Not forgetting the right foot exists, but we want to implement it a lot more by leading with it, and, you know, playing like paradiddles or singles or doubles or anything like that. So check out that pinned link, or that link that I just posted there, and you can get those mini courses for free right away. A few different things there. Yeah, well, technically, I lead a lot of my stuff with my left foot. So if you look at any one of my videos and I do a traditional blast, I'll do a double on the right foot, and then I'll go back and forth like that. Don't ask me why. It's just naturally a habit that I formed. So same thing with like odd groupings, like 5s and 7s and stuff like that. It seems to be easy and easier to lead with the left foot. So yeah, just something to keep in mind. But if that's all the questions we have for tonight, then I'm going to end the stream. And then hopefully next week, I don't have any problems. Knock on wood. I don't know what the heck happened, but I guess we'll see. I'll probably have it figured out sooner than later. Yeah, 130 is just one of those things. You just got to keep repeating it, right? It's a muscle thing, practice, repetition. Okay, and you'll get it. But definitely sign up for that mini course and do those exercises and see how that works for you. Do it on your own, like at your own pace too, right? So yeah, exactly. Just change up the lead foot. Okay, so if there's no more questions here, I'm gonna wrap this up, and we'll be back with another live stream sooner than later. Every Sunday, precisely, at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you're watching on Twitch, you can see my my schedule. And if you're watching on YouTube, that is my schedule. So, yeah. All right, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in tonight. Hopefully, I answered your questions efficiently. And if you have any more questions, just send me an email, Cameron@CameronFleury.com, or just hit me up in a private message on Instagram or Facebook. So every Sunday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 10:30 p.m. Pacific Time, we will be live here. Thanks so much. You guys are great. Thanks for spending time with me, and hopefully you learned something and learned a little bit more about yourself and me. Cheers, rock on, I'll see you around.